Hello, and welcome to this podcast presented by Self-Reliance Financial Federal Credit Union. My name is Thomas Maximuk, and I am the Compliance Officer for Self-Reliance Financial. I am honored to be joined today by our CEO, Anatoli Murha. Anatoli, how are you today?
I'm great, Tom. It's good to be here with you.
Oh, fantastic. Now, before we get into the heart of this interview, I did want to ask you a little bit about what's your background? How did you get involved in the credit union industry? How did you end up here today?
Well, as you said, my role is the CEO of the credit union, but I did not think I was going to be a credit union executive or working in banking world. I envy those that when they were younger and they were in school saying, I'm going to be a firefighter or I'm going to be an attorney. I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. And what was interesting and how my career evolved is I worked for a nonprofit agency, then went into real estate, and I actually started as a volunteer for a credit union. Where I sat on a credit committee and board of directors, and then eventually merged into working in management within a credit union. So I actually started at the legacy Ukrainian Self-Reliance Federal Credit Union as their marketing manager, then worked in the retail operations, chief lending officer, and eventually CEO of what was Ukrainian Self-Reliance Federal Credit Union, and now CEO of Self-Reliance Financial Federal Credit Union. But a little bit more, just on a personal side, I'm not from Philadelphia, nor am I from New York. I'm originally from Detroit. The land of the Motor City and the automobile capital of the world. So I think my interest in learning anything from cars and how they impact the world and understanding industry, I always had this curiosity of what's happening in other parts of the United States or other parts of the world. So I think it just lended me to exploring new opportunities, and here I am as CEO of the credit union today.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's quite the journey you've had.
Thank you.
So moving into the heart of the interview, I think you touched upon a little bit earlier, Ukrainian Self-Reliance Federal Credit Union and Self-Reliance New York Federal Credit Union officially merged on October 1st, 2025. There's a lot of new stats to me, so let me go off of my list here. The brand new name of this merged entity is Self-Reliance Financial Federal Credit Union. Headquarters is in New York City, regional centers in New York and suburban Philadelphia. The new asset size is $1.9 billion, 31,000 plus members, and branches across Maryland, New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania. Wow, that's a lot. That's pretty big. So with all that being said, the question to you is, how will members benefit from this merger? Will they see changes in their services, their rates, their fees? What can they expect?
Sure. So all great questions, and happy to answer them all there, Tom. First of all, let me talk a little bit about the rates, and let me talk about the date that you started with. On October 1, the merged institution, Self-Reliance Financial Federal Credit Union, saw a publishing of all new rates from a deposit standpoint and also from our lending products. So from day one, there was a benefit that saw on a number of our deposit products were actually higher than they were prior to October 1st. So we hope that members had an opportunity to take a look at their liquidity and what was available to them and actually place them in those products. What are we looking at in the future? One of the reasons that we merged is we took a look at what core competencies each credit union has from either day-to-day banking or from the commercial lending standpoint, and saw that there was a true synergy between the two credit unions. So when we saw that, we said, okay, from day one, we're going to work with what our regulator tells us that we need to do, and that is you have a legal day one merge. So that was October 1st. Our regulator, the National Credit Union Administration, looks at us as a new legal entity on that day. But then we have what's called an operational merge, which is going to take us about 8 to 9 months to make sure that our core systems are together. So members will start seeing more benefits, after that core merger date. However, nothing is changing with products or services today. Pricing I already talked about. However, you still have the same access, the same way that you did before. None of that's going to go away. And the mission that our respective board of directors had when they started talking about this merger was ensuring that members not only from day one still have the same products and services available to them, but we only enhance them over time. That's going to happen between the next year, 5 years, and ever evolving with such a larger asset base and more members that we can serve starting today.
Wow. It sounds like there's going to be a lot happening over the next few months. So with that being said, because there's so much that will be happening, until we reach that operational immersion in a few months, how are we going to keep our members informed? What is our communication process?
So I'm going to tell the members right away. I kindly request and I invite you to visit SRFFCU.com. Again, that's SRFFCU.com. So that website is really a landing page that'll continue to have updates on the merger, how to access your accounts, anything that new is going to happen, anything that you need to be aware of. That is the central location. Now, we also understand that sometimes you might not want to go on the website, right? For whatever reason, you just want to talk to a live human being. We got that covered for you, right? So we have professionals both in our regional office in Feasterville and in New York that you can call up, and if you just say, hey, I have a question about the merger, I really want to talk to somebody, we will spend that time to make sure that we talk with you. So you can call us anytime or go to that central landing page, as I mentioned, as srffcu.com.
Well, excellent. So when our members visit srffcu.com, they'll get to see all the new and exciting upcoming products and services that they will get in the future.
Absolutely.
So of that list, here's a question for you. Which product or service are you most excited to be offering to our entire membership?
It's really making sure that every member has access to their day-to-day banking first, because that's a basic level. Whether someone has immigrated to the United States within the last couple of years or is part of a multi-generational family that has been a member of the credit union. For example, my parents and my grandparents emigrated to the United States post-World War II. And I bring this up because they were members of various credit unions. They made sure that I became a member of a credit union, I believe at either age 15 or 16. And that continuity or that ability to making sure that you're having access to all of your accounts and you're actually able to talk to your family about it, that to me is like the basic level of service that we need to continue to provide. And obviously everybody's going to have that. We're going to enhance what that ability looks like. And over time, there's going to be new features to a lot of those products and services. So now that we've actually been able to merge on the first legal day on October 1, we're able to take a deeper dive into those areas and make it happen.
Oh, wow, that's excellent. I know I'm excited for it.
That's great to hear.
And I know you mentioned your parents and your grandparents and how they were involved in several different credit unions throughout history, and yourself as well. So with that all being said, what made now the right time for these two institutions to come together?
It's really about keeping in contact with your professional colleagues. So there's a fun fact that maybe some of our viewers and listeners don't know, that today there's actually 9 credit unions in the United States whose primary membership base are Americans of Ukrainian descent. Now in the 1980s, there was almost 35. So those 9 credit unions make up what's called the Ukrainian American Credit Union Association. And we have this association that we get together throughout the year. We do professional development. We talk with each other. We bring in different industry experts to learn more about what's happening in the industry. And the reason why I bring all of this up is when you listen to what is actually happening in the industry, this is on the banking side and also in credit unions. Those credit unions that have a larger asset base are actually performing better than other credit unions in the market. This isn't something that is a qualitative analysis. It's truly the data is telling us this through all of our experts that are, all the expert information that's available out there. So I've had a working relationship with our colleagues in New York ever since I started in the credit union industry. And about a year and a half ago, we had a conversation and said, you know what? There's actually a lot that brings us together. Have we actually really taken a deep dive and understood what some of those opportunities are? And as we evolved, everybody needs to eat. So, we got together for lunch, had a cup of coffee, started, the conversation and looking at all these core competencies that each credit union had and realized we can help each other out. So it truly was because you have a long-standing working relationship and keeping in touch, having that network and having that ability just to pick up the phone. And especially in this situation, and I mean this very, I think this is an important point to bring up. I can't necessarily always call a banking executive, let's say, at another credit union or even a bank, because our members are of Ukrainian descent. So we actually speak in Ukrainian. And that's important. You won't find that anywhere else, or not very often. So what happens for our community is that trust that you have because you can speak in that language. I can call my colleagues in New York and Chicago and Detroit and Rochester, New York, anywhere in the United States and say, are you having a similar situation like I am? Can we talk about it? So that strength and that association helps. And because of all those years of that networking and having that trust and working together, we had that lunch about a year and a half ago, and here we are today.
Wow. Okay, so food really brings people together.
Absolutely, it does.
And I'm glad you touched upon the word community there. So now we're bringing together multiple communities from Maryland, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York. Mm-hmm. How is this new credit union going to benefit pretty much the Atlantic coast there? How are we going to help out all these different communities?
So the role of the credit union, the way that I see it moving forward, is that we are a way to unite these communities through communication and through services. The credit union, whether it was the Legacy Ukrainian Self-Reliance or the Legacy Self-Reliance New York Federal Credit Union, did a lot to support the community, either through donations or networking and helping organizations and organizational leaders understand what resources are available, or connecting with other organizations to help them promote their events or if they have any strategic initiatives. Today, what we have available is, because of our work on the ground and how we work with members in local churches, in local community organizations, choirs, artistic ensembles, dance ensembles, we have all of these contacts. So if somebody is wondering about, hey, we want to organize an event in Washington, D.C., or somewhere in the East Village in New York, or somewhere in suburban Philadelphia, we can help connect those dots and introduce to each other. We can promote these events to our entire membership that truly is based in the Washington, D.C. area, Baltimore, multiple locations in suburban Philadelphia, Trenton, New Jersey, New York City, and their different boroughs, and all the way up in Kyrgyzstan by Soyuzivka, which I think is a very well-known Ukrainian asset in the diaspora. So we really can service such a large geographic area. And to me, that's exciting for the community, because now you can be thinking about all these different cities and not just you still have access to your local branch and your access to your local location, your access to your local team members that you're used to visiting at a certain branch, but the community is stronger because it's larger now.
Wow. That's quite the lofty goal there, to serve such a big community, such a large swath of geographic area. That's fantastic. So with that being said, with these goals of being plugged into the community and offering them fantastic products and services, what does success look like for this new institution a year from now, 5 years from now?
Here's what I want the community to know. Anybody that's working right now in financial services, in banking, and again, I know we're a credit union, but we can use the word banking. I want you knocking on our door. I want you to know that there are opportunities for this team that we have. We now have over 100 employees merged as, we have 100 team members that are working at this credit union. As we evaluate our products and services and understand what new products and services we're going to be offering, we need new professionals. And I want the community to know that our doors are open to those opportunities. So when you're thinking about stepping into financial services, or if you've already been in the industry for 10 years and want to consider maybe making a change and taking a look at how you can impact the community, I want to hear from you. I want that opportunity that we have a larger network of banking professionals so that we can continue this wonderful opportunity for generations to come. Did you know, Tom, that the two credit unions that we're talking about that have merged will be celebrating their 75th anniversary over the next 2 years? Self-Reliance New York was founded in 1951, and Ukrainian Self-Reliance was founded in 1952. So to come back to your question, I see that it's an incredible responsibility to be a steward for all of us of a 75-year banking tradition for the community. So we need to position ourselves to see what it's going to look like for the next 75 years. So I've talked about bringing in new professionals, to add to our team. I'm also excited about what's happening in the banking industry, because in the credit union industry. It's not that the market is changing every 10 years or even 5 years. We're seeing new innovation throughout the year. And when you have a workforce or team members of over 100 people and new opportunities, that allows you to listen to what your members are talking about and what their needs are. So we have, I think, 6 different generations that that are actually clients of both credit unions. Each generation has its own needs, and there's a lot that unites us as well. So ensuring that the new credit union, Self-Reliance Financial, is serving all of those members, all of those clients, we have an opportunity to hear from everybody.
I'm excited to have a wonderful 75th anniversary celebration. I'm looking forward to that now, and I'm excited for some new coworkers.
All right.
So I invite them, please. And with that, as we approach the end of our interview, I'm going to open up the floor. If you have any closing remarks, or is there anything else you'd really like to touch upon?
First, I want to thank all the members, all the clients that we have between the two credit unions, those that are with us today, those that maybe are no longer here, because what the membership has done and what clients do is they entrust us. And that confidence is not taken for granted. So I do want to thank all of our members for their loyalty, for the value that they see in the credit union. I want to thank the two boards of directors that decided to move this merger forward, because it's a strategic and long-term plan. And, people are used to sometimes working in their own ways. And we actually had very constructive conversations and understanding what does this look like for the greater good of the community, for our member clients, and obviously for our team members like you and I, Tom, and all of our 100 colleagues that we work with every day. And I appreciated being part of those smart conversations and truly the care that was put into the process. So I do want to thank the boards of directors, and I want to thank everybody that came before us. The foundation that we have today for the credit union, for today's Self-Reliance Financial, based off of the legacies of Ukrainian Self-Reliance and Self-Reliance New York. If it wasn't for the thoughtfulness and the management prior to us, we wouldn't be where we are today. So I'm very grateful for that. And I know that we have a responsibility to move that forward, to be in a stronger position a year from now, 10 years from now, and 75 years from now. I don't know if podcasts are going to exist, but whatever the new technology is going to be, and having a similar story like that, if I'm still around on this earth, I'm looking forward to seeing that and being a part of that.
I know I'm excited now. Thank you, Anatoli. This has been very insightful. The future looks very bright. And I hope a year from now or 5 years from now, we get to do this podcast again and look back at all of our major accomplishments. So thank you.
Sounds good, Tom, and I appreciate the time. And, I have to say also, Tom, we've been working together, I think, for almost a dozen years, close to that. So I've appreciated being part of the journey, with you and everything that you bring to the credit union. So thank you for that.
All right. The journey continues.
Yes, it does.
And thank you to our members and all listeners. I'll see you on the next episode.
Have a great day.